Hello, it is December the 9th, 2025, and it's time for the weekly word, and the weekly word is pilgrimage. Our key scripture is Psalms 84, verses 5 to 7. Blessed is the man whose strength is in you, whose heart is set on pilgrimage. There's our word. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring. The rain covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. So, pilgrimage, the definition is to go from place to place, to travel with a purpose. And that purpose involves experiencing God and recognizing his leading in your life. It has to do with sojourning and realizing that we're just temporary residents here on earth. Oxford Dictionary defines pilgrimage as a pilgrim's journey. Well, when I think of the word pilgrim, I remember the actor John Wayne, and he had this famous quote where he'd say, "Well, howdy, pilgrim." So, do you consider yourself a pilgrim? Because our whole life is a journey, and we're meant to see it as a pilgrimage towards God. Genesis 47 and verse 9, and Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days and years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. So these patriarchs in the Old Testament, they saw their lives as a pilgrimage. And it's not just about changing physical locations, it's about going strength to strength. It's about experiencing God. So, how do we get stronger? Well, we increase muscle and strength by stretching and resistance. So, there's this reality that pilgrimage can be difficult because pilgrimage means change. So, there's a scriptural blessing here in this verse on those whose hearts are set on pilgrimage. And there's a recurring theme throughout the Bible on pilgrimage. From the very beginning, God said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. He said it when he created man. He said it when Noah got out of the ark. And there's this reality that if we're going to fill the earth, it's going to require some pilgrimage. We see it in the life of Abraham. In Genesis 12, 1 to 3, now the Lord said to Abraham, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. And I will bless those that bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. So Abraham was told to go out on this pilgrimage, but there was going to be blessing involved. Genesis 13:15, for all the land that you see, I will give to you and to your offspring forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, your offspring also can be counted. Here we go. Arise, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I will give it to you. So Abraham's whole life was this pilgrimage, and there was a purpose in it. And for him, the purpose was inheritance and blessing, both to him and everyone else around him. Well, the New Testament example of pilgrimage is Mary, the mother of Jesus. She didn't get to just park in one place and have everything come to her. When Mary found out that she was expecting Jesus, one of the first things she does is she went and visited Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist, for about 3 months. And then where the Christmas story picks up, it's very late in her pregnancy, and she has to journey with Joseph from Nazareth to Bethlehem. That's approximately an 80-mile journey. It's 4 to 5 days of walking or riding on a donkey. 8 days after Jesus' birth, we find her in the temple in Jerusalem, 5 miles away. And again, 30 days after his birth. And then the next major journey, we see him heading to Egypt. because Herod was killing the baby boys. That was around a 600-mile journey, one way, until Herod died, and then they had to make it back. And this wasn't like vacation journeys. They were running for their life for some of this. So at Christmas time, we tend to focus on the baby in the manger and angels and wise men and gifts of like gold and frankincense and myrrh. But this pilgrimage that she was on wasn't easy. And here was this woman who said to the angel, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." Then she spends the next how many months or years on a pilgrimage, but a pilgrimage that would be a blessing not only to her, but to the whole world and for generations to come. Because that pilgrimage involved Jesus, and Jesus himself was a pilgrim. A scribe came up to him in Matthew chapter 8 and verse 19 and said to him, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus said to him, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Jesus was on the move, and to be a disciple was not just to move into a house or settle into a temple, but it was to follow Jesus. In Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 13, it's the heroes of faith chapter in the Bible. It says, "These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, were assured of them and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth." The heroes of faith in this chapter, they realized that they were just passing through, that everything there was to life was not found here on the earth. So back to our key scripture, Psalms 84, verse 5 to 7. "Blessed is the man whose strength is in you, whose heart is set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring. The rain also covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength, and each one appears before God in Zion." Part of pilgrimage is passing through this valley of Baca, which it's a literal place in Palestine, but this word Baca means weeping. It's a tough place. And valleys in general, they're low places. They're the opposite of the mountaintops. So with pilgrimage, life is not always predictable or easy. It's not always just fun travel like vacation. But it says here that blessed is the man whose strength is in you, whose heart is set on pilgrimage. We get strength and we develop even greater strength from God as we go through this. Verse 7, they go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. So again, there's purpose in this pilgrimage. It's to make us stronger, but even more important than making us stronger, it's to bring us closer to God. Verse 6 said, "As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring." And it reminds me of Psalms 23, where it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." And the emphasis here is through. We don't park in these tough places, but we go through them and we come out of them better than we were. So I keep hearing that 2025 has been a tough year for so many people. Where were you in January? Where are you now? Do you see yourself as heading in a direction? The tough things that you've experienced this year, have they led you in a direction towards God or away from God? Where do you see yourself 1 year from now? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where will we be 10 years from now if the Lord tarries, if we're still alive, if Jesus doesn't come back? You know, I don't even want to get 1 year down the road and realize that I've been stuck in a rut, that I haven't grown, that I haven't moved forward. And this can apply to many different areas of my life. The purpose of pilgrimage is to keep going. It's to go through. It's the opposite of settling. It's the opposite of staying in one place. The purpose of pilgrimage is to see the valleys in our life, the places of weeping become springs of water. The purpose of pilgrimage is to go from strength to strength. Like it or not, every person alive is a pilgrim, and their life is a journey. And the question is, do we recognize it? Do we recognize ourselves as pilgrims? And then another huge question is, are we allowing our pilgrimage and even our valleys to take us in a direction towards God? My prayer is that God will give each and every one of us a heart that is set on pilgrimage. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.